Just wanted to share you quickly about customer experience, or what's known now as CX. All the statistics in the now pointing to customer experience being a greater and greater importance in terms of decision making. And they predict by 2020 that the major reason a customer is going to engage with your product or service is going to be around customer experience. The example that I want to share that's could be obvious to many of us is Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza now say they're not a pizza company. They say that they're a customer experience company. They're a software company that delivers customer experience. So I'll give you the example of their journey. Domino's Pizza existed, at least in Australia, and at one point what they distinguished themselves on was price. And so 2 pizzas for $17.95, and then it was 2 pizzas for $15.95, and then eventually it was 1 pizza for $3.95. And eventually no one's winning money on this price war. And not far from where I lived, there was a Domino's Pizza on one side, and I think there was a Pizza Hut on the other side of the road, on this main six lane road. And you would see the price wars as they put out their little banners. My pizza's $2.95 a pizza, this one's $3.95, and they would just price war between the two of them, and no one won. So eventually of doing that, they realized they're not going to make any money. And so instead of differentiating by price, they started differentiating on time. And so Domino's began to say price guarantee. The pizzas are no longer $2.95, they're a bit more expensive, say $8.95 a pizza or $12.95 a pizza. But they go, when you order, you'll get it in 30 minutes or it's free. And so suddenly they've got to invest in all these drivers, and they're driving pizzas everywhere, and it's a minute late, and people are arguing that, that they should get their pizza free and all that type of thing. And that's not a great model either. So then they add on another iteration, and they say, when you order your pizza, we're going to show you where the pizza is in the cooking cycle. So the order's taking, or it's in baking, or it's packed, or it's shipped. And they're now trying to set a bit of expectation to the customer. And Domino's has now taken it to another level. So instead of differentiating on price, and instead of differentiating on time, they now differentiate on customer expectation. When you order your pizza now, not only do you see where it is in the cooking cycle, but once it's in the delivery, you can look on the app and you can see the GPS coordinates as the driver is driving to your house. Well, what does that mean in customer experience? If you think about a family, it's a Friday night, they want dinner happening, and they've ordered the pizza. The most important thing for the parents of that family is knowing when that pizza is going to come. It's not that it's going to come within half an hour. I would prefer that I know that it's coming within 2 minutes of it being 45 minutes. Do you know why? Because my kids are watching TV. And if I suddenly walk in there and I go, get off the TV, kids, dinner is here. Hey, look, this is not a real situation because my wife's a health coach and there's no way Domino's Pizza's coming into our house. But if she wasn't here, I might order it. But what actually is happening is they go, oh, the pizza's going to be in here in 15 minutes. So I walk in and I go to the TV room and I go, kids, 10-minute warning. Dinner's coming soon. Say, yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. Okay. So I'm going to give you one more warning at 5 minutes, and then when it's time to go, I'm setting the expectation. Clear? And so that's what's important to me as a customer, is that these guys are eating at the right time. So Domino's have understood what's important to me as a customer is expectation setting, and that's now what they're delivering. I'll give you another example about understanding your customer, and if you understand your customer, you can deliver experience. So a colleague of mine was consulting for a large company that ran a very famous cereal brand, and they brainstormed it and they said, you know what, parents want their kids to eat their cereal so they're ready for the day. Because the kids, you know what, they leave their breakfast half eaten. So you know what they did? They spent all this money, and what they designed is a physical bowl. And what would happen is you were given an app and you put the cereal in. And as the kids ate the cereal, they'd take the app and the app would see how much cereal got eaten. And as the cereal dropped down the bowl, they would get awards, for this game. And they're about to launch it and go, this is going to be amazing, everyone's going to use it. And guess what? They listened to the customer and the customer said, I don't want this. I don't want my kids staying at the breakfast table being slow to eat their cereal. You know what I want? I want them out the door so we get to them on school on time. So the app changed, and now the app is a game. And the game is, if you get up and you brush your teeth and get your clothes dressed on and eat your breakfast and feed the dog, whatever task you put in, you're going to get points given to you as you complete all those tasks. And you're going to get the biggest number of points if you get out the door on time. And then when you're on the bus or in the car, you can play the game because the points have been released. That's another example of thinking about the customer, not thinking about you. And if you understand the customer and think about their experience, and you can deliver them something that's different to the competition. Most of us run businesses, and what we do is we deliver something technical. Maybe it's a product, or maybe I'm the best photographer, marketer, engineer, builder, whatever it might be. And you know what? If all you do is work hard, you're doing the same thing as everybody else. But think about what could be different in your business that delivers customer experience. I've got so many examples, and I'm tempted to keep rattling them off to you across different industries. But if you can think about different elements where you do something that other people don't, then that can deliver experience. I'll give you one final example in the building industry, just because it's a bit different to software. So a colleague of mine who ran the most successful business on the North Shore of Sydney for a period of more than 15 years wasn't a builder by background. But one of the things he did is that on the day they completed the job, he had someone there to do the defects, and that was necessary and appropriate. And then once they did the defects list of what needed to be fixed, the building crew was there the next day, because when people have nearly finished completion on the building, they don't want wait another 14 days or 30 days or 1 day before they can live in their house again. It's been a disruptive time, right? So he would have someone in the defects period, and the builders would be there and they would make sure it's all done. Then when it's finished, they sign off again. And then another 14 days later than that, they'll send another person to make sure there are no other defects. Then they would go back another month after that. And then 1 year later, after the building was finished, they'd go in again. How does that deliver customer experience for you? But not only that, you know what happened when they built? When they would do the build? None of the tradesmen were allowed to park on the driveways or on the premise of the property. At the close on a Friday, he had a person that was dedicated to clean up all the mess. And if the mess was cleaned up, the next job was to mow the lawn. And if the lawn was mowed, the next job was to wash the car. Do you know why? Because the audience that he was targeting, they were building the house or extending the house while they were living there. And the one thing they wanted when they got home after a busy week is they wanted to know that their partner was happy, and they wanted to know that on the weekend they had their house and they could entertain and they weren't working in a rubbish heap. He charged more for that. He articulated why he charged more for that. And he said, look, if you did all those things yourself, yeah, look, we'd probably charge an extra 10% on top of that, but we take all the hassle away. He delivered customer experience. He charged more. He was more profitable. He was larger because he knew his customer. Would that work in every region of a city? No. But in the region he was targeting and what they were looking for, that's what was important. Understand your customer, the geography, what motivates them, what keeps them up, what would make you different. Deliver on the customer experience, and that's when you'll be a different business. It's hard to distinguish on product or just the technical of what you do, but you can differentiate on CX or client experience. Here's to you, your success, your legacy. May you be blessed to be a blessing.